Good afternoon, guys. It's working, bringing you a quick update on Steem. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at Steem to Bitcoin. This is the one-day chart on Bittrex, guys. And obviously, as a recap for my last analysis, Steem is operating within this larger wedge, guys. It continues to create a series of higher lows, lower highs. As it reaches the apex, we are going to expect a breakout. As I told you guys last time, we had this kind of falling wedge pattern here. We were hoping that we'd get a massive impulse up from here. We haven't had that yet. But if I point out in the past, well, first of all, it's respected this support zone here on the wedge, guys. So that's a very bullish indication that we've respected this support, as it has many times in the past here. It's again very, very bullish, even though it hasn't impulsed up yet. We can see in the past, guys, when price came down, it's kind of bounced off the support a couple times. Same thing here, bounced off a couple times before it finally impulsed up. That's kind of what we're getting here. Price came down, very strongly respected the support, hasn't impulsed yet. It's bouncing a few times, and my hope is we see the same pattern where we eventually see that nice impulse wave up to come test at either the top of this resistance or just break right out of this altogether. If we zoom in here on the 4-hour, we can see that's exactly what's happening. We're kind of bouncing right along the support of this, at the bottom of the support here, the outer of the larger wedge. We also can see if we pull in here, guys, we kind of have a downtrending channel here. I've denoted here in orange. Price wicked just below this wedge here, just by a wick, very, very briefly, was quickly rejected up. Now that's happened many times in the past, so I'm not really concerned about that at all. The body of these candles have remained well within the wedge, and what we're seeing now, or excuse me, yeah, well within the larger wedge. So this well within the support zone of the larger wedge here, denoted in yellow. If we zoom in here, guys, we can see what we're starting to have is divergence off of this channel. In other words, price came back down this time. You would expect it to test the bottom of the channel like it has here in the past. Here in orange, it didn't. It stopped right here at the support zone of the wedge. That's a very, very bullish sign, guys. So if this support can hold of this larger wedge, then I'm going to stay very. I'm going to start to believe the bottom is in, at least in the short term. The bottom is in on Steem, and we could be seeing price impulse up here in the next week or so. We'll have to wait and see. But the fact that this is holding is very bullish. Now, if price breaks below by the body, if price breaks below the support area, I'm going to start to get bearish in the short term, guys. If we do see price come back down, test this channel again, and break into this resistance area between 13.1K and 16.6 or 12.6K Satoshi, that's going to be very, very bearish in my opinion, guys. And at that point, we may start to see price collapse. But as long as this support holds, I'm going to remain very bullish. It at least needs to hold on the daily. If we have a daily candle that closes below that support, guys, again, I'm going to get very bearish. But as long as it remains up top, guys, I'm going to stay bullish in the short term. We're going to be watching this zone here between about 14.7 and 14.3 thousand Satoshi. That's going to be that is a decent supply zone, a decent resistance area. As you can see, price came up, looked in it a few times. We need to see price come in here and break this zone here, break into this zone, and break out of the top of this channel in orange here. If that does happen, guys, if we can get a candle that closes into this supply area, then again, that's going to be very bullish. And ideally, we need to see price break above here. There is another strong resistance right above that, starting at 15,000 Satoshi, between 15.6 thousand, or between 15,000 and 15.6 K Satoshi. That's a decent resistance area as well, a very strong resistance area. When price comes up, we may get a strong rejection there. But what my hope is, price will come up, possible rejection there, and what was resistance down here will act as support. So even if it gets rejected, it'll hit support area here and then just kind of move sideways. Ideally, we'd like to see price penetrate deep into this supply zone. That's going to be a very bullish indication if that does happen, guys. And we're going to have to wait and see how this ends up playing out. But as long as this support holds, I'm going to stay bullish in the short term. If we come in here and we look at our histogram, or I should say our MACD, this is on the daily, we can see that the MACD line and signal line have been kind of trending up since June, since late June. But the entire thing, we haven't seen the MACD or signal line in bullish territory since mid-May. So this has just been an extremely bearish time for Steem. However, as I said, guys, we may have seen bottom because we are seeing a slow buildup in strength as denoted by this kind of increase in the signal line and the MACD line. And if we come in here and we look at the 4-hour, we're seeing something very, very similar. We haven't seen the signal line and MACD line really penetrate this zone here, except for just a couple times where it was very quickly rejected on the 4-hour since mid-July. So again, a very, very bearish looking overall MACD. However, we are seeing signs that we're seeing continuation of strength build up. We're seeing a series of higher lows. It has been the case since May. Even though we've been in bearish territories again, the MACD and signal line seems to come down and creates a higher low each time, continuing to trend up. It's kind of consolidating in a very, very tight little wedge here, right here, guys, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it just completely explode here in the next week or so, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. If it does come down and create a lower low, then I'm going to start to get rather bearish in the short term. And again, guys, we'll just have to wait and see how that ends up playing out. If we come in here and we look at the daily is giving me short term, not long term, but short term pause to think that we may see price come up a little bit higher and then just collapse right back down, possibly to test this the support area again here on this outer wedge here. But if we look at the daily RSI again, what does that look like? It's a kind of a rising wedge pattern, which often results in price just kind of following over here. Now again, even if that happens, this is happening on a very small scale. So even if we get a small correction, I don't believe it's going to be anything massive, but it is something to kind of keep an eye on. I think that we may have one more testing of that support before price does end up impulsing up, and we'll have to wait and see how that kind of ends up playing out overall. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video there, guys. I know it's not really something that a real clear indication of where price is going, more of kind of what to watch out for and how to prepare. But the takeaway is, if price does break below the support, guys, I do think we're going to have much lower lows. And if price does break into this zone here between 14.3 and 14.7 thousand Satoshi, 14.3K Satoshi, and 14.7 thousand, 14,700, I should say. Sorry, guys, it's been a long day already, and it's not even that. It's only 10:30 here. Yeah, believe that or not, I've been up since 3:30. I'm kind of a night owl. Sometimes I get trading, guys, and I just don't stop. But anyway, yeah, as long as we break into this support area, we don't get resistance area, and we don't get a strong rejection, guys, that's going to be a very bullish indication. And if price just kind of sits here and moves sideways, again, that's going to be a very bullish indication. And at that point, I might start dollar cost averaging in, and I may be dollar cost averaging in anyway, guys. I've already started to, but if you wanted to, again, not financial advice, not a bad time to start dollar cost averaging in. Just make sure you have a very tight stop loss, and I would put my stop loss right below this ascending support line here. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. And as always, guys, I'd appreciate an upvote or a like. Just lets me know you want me to continue to make these videos. Until next time, guys, please trade safe. This is Working, signing out.